All right. Let's see. Bear with me. I know this is going to be a bit awkward. It's just me tonight. I did not announce this, which I should do. Should definitely do that. Give me a second. Let's see. Let's see. Now, like I said, I did not announce that I'm going live today. That's a surprise. So I'm not expecting a lot of people to be here. But those that do, welcome. This is not our normal live day, as you know. But I've got some cool shit to show you. Some really, really cool shit. I'm just going to wait like 3-4 minutes before I start breaking this stuff down. Sorry, kid. Sorry. See, kid made it. Sorry, this is gonna be a good one though. This is a good one. This has some really interesting stuff in it. Seeing how you're from the Great White North, you probably don't know what happened today. Although I kind of find it hard to believe that you haven't heard the news. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Let me give a little bit of time for others to show up. Just a wee bit. Not too much though. Not too much, and we'll jump right in. Oh man. Oh, so you probably didn't. That's crazy. That's right. News doesn't travel up to Canada very well from down here, huh? So, well, one thing I will talk about real quick before we jump into this or the topic for the night. Man, I was on X looking for, some clips to show you guys tonight. Because I'm gonna get this episode out tonight so that everyone can enjoy it first thing tomorrow morning. And going through X, just watching that poor girl get fucking slaughtered in that train in North Carolina, man. That's tough. Everyone's sharing that thing, and you can't go on the X right now and not see it. It's awful, absolutely awful. So it was hard to find what I was looking for, but I got it. All right, we'll give him 2 more minutes. Like I said, not expecting anybody to really show up, honestly. There's a lot of cool stuff. Well, uh, I guess the only thing I really could say before we start, kid, is that uh, got the merch website updated today. That's pretty cool. As I was basically locked in on the topic we'll be talking about tonight all day. Try to make this brief though. So yeah, I'm gonna make a big push on updating that. But all right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Jeremy. Tonight, we got some breaking news. And it's just me. No Jeff, no nobody else, just me. Very, very minimal crowd. We got Kid. That's about it right now. That's okay. We are live again. But I didn't announce it. So this is kind of just a impromptu reaction video to the news that happened today. I mean, it's not crazy breaking news. I mean, technically it is. It was scheduled news. I just didn't think that anything was actually going to be released today that was going to be worth talking about. We had another congressional hearing on UFOs and UAP today. And that's what we're going to talk about. Because there was some cool shit that got dropped, including a new video. And that's what we're really going to dive into. Before we get into that, though, just going to give you guys a brief breakdown of what happened. So I quickly just wrote up a very brief synopsis of everything that happened. First thing, witness testimonies. Okay, there was 4 witnesses, 3 of them being military veterans. Alejandro Wiggins, Dylan Borland, Jeffrey Nucatelli, I think his last name was. I can't pronounce it. Nucatelli, and journalist George Knapp. Okay, if you are listening to this podcast and you don't know who George Knapp is, should look him up. I'm pretty sure you've seen his face at least once. Testified today, all 4 of them, about their UAP sightings, emphasizing events that defy conventional explanations. Nothing new there, right? We talked about the Tic Tac video again. Then we talked about a new bit of information. The 100-foot triangular craft. This was pretty interesting. I'll actually come back to that here in a minute. Let me just finish my synopsis. The second thing that we talked about during this congressional hearing was government transparency. The hearing, which was chaired by Representative Anna Paulina Luna. She's been an all-star in this whole thing. She's been kicking ass and taking names. Focused on pushing for greater transparency from the Department of Defense and intelligence communities regarding UAP sightings and investigations. Actually, criticizing the excessive secrecy behind it. Good on her. How much of it is just theater, I don't know. But she put on a hell of a show. I'll tell you what. And then basically right after that, after criticizing the secrecy, she started calling for whistleblower protections again. Now, this is one of the big things. We need this. Okay. One of the big fears is that when whistleblowers come forward, they're not going to be protected. It's a legitimate fear. These people who do have something that they're holding on to aren't willing to come forward because they fear for what the repercussions are. Not much else to put out there. then she went on or actually, it wasn't even her. It was her a little bit, but mostly others really criticized Arrow. For those that don't know what Arrow is, that's the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. This is the program that came after OSAP and ATIP, the stuff that came after Lou Elizondo left. Basically, there was a lot of name calling. Okay, there's not a lot of trust with Arrow. Basically, Congress or at least the representatives that were there today are saying that they're fumbling. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Witnesses and lawmakers question the effectiveness of the Pentagon's Arrow program, with some labeling it a potential cover-up and calling for more accountability. All good stuff. Again, what's theater? Don't know. But the words coming out of their mouths were good. Next one, national security concerns. And this is going to stem from the last topic. Testimonies underscored UAPs as potential aviation and maritime safety risks, urging declassification and further investigation to address national security implications. Now, the big one we're going to talk about tonight, immediately after we go back to that 100-foot triangular craft, is this new video of the Hellfire missile incident. Holy shit. This is wild. This is crazy. So basically, there was a video shown today by Representative Eric Burleson, which depicted a U.S. military drone firing a Hellfire missile and striking an orb-shaped UAP off of the Yemen coast in October 2024. I don't have words for it. It's crazy. Basically, the object was virtually unaffected. It got torn apart, and then it came back together and just continued flight. And all the pieces that broke off of it flew with it. My words aren't doing shit for it. Let me tell you, if you're listening to this episode on Spotify, or if you're listening to this on iTunes or anything where you're just listening to this episode, I highly recommend to find a different platform. Okay, Spotify, you can watch it on, but if you're on iTunes or wherever, go find it on YouTube. Go watch the Twitch stream. Go somewhere else, okay? Because I'm gonna play some clips, and these are fucking nuts. That's all I gotta say. They're wild. They're gonna blow your mind. They blew mine. Okay. Now, let's just say that you don't know who I am. All right. A lot of people that have been listening to Infinite Rabbit Hole for the 5 years that we've been around now know that I come from naval aviation. Okay. I'm very familiar with Hellfires. This is not what's supposed to happen. Okay. Hellfire missiles are, it's just, we're going to get back into this. Let's break off. Let me go back to the 100-foot triangular craft first, because that's the much smaller story, but still warrants being talking about. We'll get that knocked out of the way. We'll come back to Hellfire missile incident, and we'll go into the videos, because that's just wild shit. So during the congressional hearing, Alejandro Wiggins, a former Navy aviation electronics technician, So for all of my fellow sailors that listen to me now, that were in squadrons with me or just listen to me because I wasn't a fellow Airedale, he was an AT. Okay. I was AE. He's fellow AVI. These are people that we know. He testified about observing an 100-foot triangular craft in 2014 off Virginia Beach while on the Nimitz. The craft, described as a dark, matte triangle, was detected by radar and moved erratically at high speeds, defying known aerodynamics. Wiggins noted it was tracked for hours with no visible propulsion, and its behavior suggested advanced technology not aligned with U.S. capabilities. Okay, so why is his testimony important? So, well, it depends on where you put importance in. Okay. If you look at every other piece of testimony that's come out, it's always been a high ranking officer. This is enlisted. This is an enlisted personnel. I don't know what his rank was. I don't know if he was an E3, E4. I don't know if he was NCO. I don't know. I don't know if he was a chief or above. No idea. But this was not an officer. This wasn't an admiral. This wasn't a commander. This wasn't David Fravor. This wasn't a pilot. This was an AT. This was an avionics technician. This was not a person I knew personally, although I was stationed in Norfolk. Okay. I was right there. This is grunt work. This is somebody who worked on the avionics equipment in aircraft, radar systems, communication systems. This is who that was. This is a person that went out there and troubleshot. Okay. Now, ATs or Trons, as we used to playfully call them, did have some secret squirrel classifications that other rates did not have in the Navy. So, depending on what platform he was on, let's say he was on E2s, the E2 Hawkeyes, right? If nobody knows what those are, I'll show you what those are real quick. And yes, they are right there. They're not in Virginia Beach. They're in Norfolk. But let me tell you that let's just say he was an AT for one of these guys right here. I'll show you. And I was an AE on one of these in Pax River, Maryland. Here you go. All right. You got the dome on top. If he's back there troubleshooting, he could absolutely track that. 100%. There is 3 stations. Actually, here you go. You know, it's been a while, right? But I believe the first one's the RO. This is your radar operator. And then I believe the back one's your ACO. And then your I can't remember what the middle one is. It's like your flight officer or something. I can't remember. But there's 5 officers that fly in this craft: your pilot, co-pilot, and then your 3 your 3 systems operators in the back. And I'm not going to go into the whole mission of the Hawkeye, but let's just say that it definitely has the capability, while on the ground, weight on wheels, to do what he says that he did. For sure, 100%, without question. So, And Norfolk and Virginia Beach are close enough to where if you're in Congress and you're explaining to the layman where you were, instead of saying that you were in Norfolk, you could easily just say you were in Virginia Beach. That's shit. I've done that hundreds of times. Yeah, I was stationed in Virginia Beach. 22-minute drive. Not far. So, that's why I think that particular one is interesting. This was an enlisted guy that came forward. Now, we know officers see shit. All right. I've talked to pilots. I've talked to pilots that see shit, and they've never come forward. Okay. There was a stigma for a very long time in the Navy where you just didn't talk about this shit. Okay. This is before I started the Infinite Rabbit Hole. When I started the Infinite Rabbit Hole, I had a lot of pilots that I ended up having these conversations with about strange things in the sky reach out to me and say, dude, you can't tell my story. And of course, I have no intentions of ever telling their story. You know, and of course, they always have an open door to come tell their story on my show, but I'll never tell their story. Right? I'm not going to do that to them. That's changed ever since OSAP and ATIP. That's pretty much it for the 100-foot triangular craft. But I wanted to point that out because it is important that we're seeing that enlisted personnel are coming forward. Again, it all depends on how much you put into that basket. Me, I do put a little bit into that basket. Are there crazy enlisted people out there? Hell yeah. There's a lot of them. Okay. So does that mean that he's 100% telling the truth? No. Right. But I do find it interesting that we do finally have an enlisted personnel coming forward. I find it very good. All right. Let's move on to the bread and butter for tonight. Because this shit is wild. This is incredible. So, before we really dive into it, I just want to touch base on what a Hellfire missile is. Okay. Now, I cracked open a bunch of old EAWS or Enlisted Aviation Warfare Specialist booklets and study guides that I had, and grabbed as much information as I could on Hellfire missiles. That just looking through the old aviation ordnancemen's portions, and then of course it doesn't have everything, so I had to Google some stuff. And I created a nice little script, nice little write-up with some statistical facts about Hellfire missiles. And this is what I came up with. All right. So the AGM TAC 114 Hellfire missile used by the U.S. military platforms like the MQ-9 Reaper drone delivers devastating impact with these key details. Now, I did write this after I wrote up the script about the incident today. Now, the MQ-9 Reaper drone was the drone that took the video of what happened. So that's why I use that specific aircraft. Just want to put that there. Hellfires can absolutely be shot from air to ground, ground to ground, air to air. Okay. So it's not specific to the MQ-9. Now, the warhead itself is typically 20-pound. It's typically a 20-pound high explosive anti-tank. Okay, the acronym for that is HEAT, high explosive anti-tank, or blast fragmentation, designed to penetrate armor or destroy soft targets. The speed of one of these missiles averages 1.3 Mach, or Mach 1.3. That is roughly 995 miles per hour, or 1,600 kilometers per hour, basically ensuring rapid delivery. The impact force releases energy equivalent to about 100 megajoules, capable of destroying tanks, bunkers, or structures, and it does it with precision. These missiles are guided by lasers or radar, okay, and they're accurate from up to 1 to 2 meters. The effect that these things cause, it creates a high pressure blast wave, shrapnel, and intense heat up to 5,000 degrees Celsius, causing catastrophic damage to most of the targets. Now, one thing that I need to clarify before we move on is that a Hellfire missile does not strictly require impact with a hard surface to detonate. The reason why I put this here is because I bookmarked a specific video that we're going to watch today. This guy did an amazing job breaking this down. And he made one mistake. He said that the Hellfire missile does require a solid surface to detonate, and that's not true. Actually, it can be detonated one of two ways. It can be detonated by contact, by use of a contact fuse, or proximity, by use of a proximity fuse. So yes and no. If it was equipped with a contact fuse, then yes, right? But it is unclear what that particular warhead was equipped with. So I just wanted to put that out there before we watch any of the videos. So depending on what it was actually equipped with, this video could be taken a couple different ways. Either way, this is incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. Because no matter what, whether it was a contact fuse or it was a proximity fuse, I do believe that it should have detonated. Because it does not take a lot of contact, a lot of pressure for a Hellfire missile to detonate. Okay, let's just use a balloon, for instance. Okay, at Mach 1.3, if you hit a balloon, the amount of force that thing is hitting the side of a balloon at will create enough pressure in order to detonate. Okay, and a proximity fuse is basically a fuse that it'll detonate near a target. Okay, and it's not necessarily near a certain target; it's near a target. Okay, proximity, once it's within proximity of something physical. Now you can have certain proximity fuses, right, that are guided by radar. That I'm with such a small target that this was, I highly doubt that this was a radar guided Hellfire. So I think we can eliminate that. I actually believe that this was probably a proximity fuse, and not a contact fuse. So honestly, with a proximity fuse, even if this thing was a weather balloon or even a ball of plasma, the single fact that there was solid matter there, plasma, even being just a ball of plasma, a ball of light, should have been enough at 1.3 Machs to detonate it. Okay. Should have been. But we're going to see. We're going to look at this video now for the first time tonight. Now, I want to be clear. The video that I am about to show you is from the Hill YouTube page. Okay. Now, I don't have my own copy of the video. So I'm going to fast forward to the spot where it needs to be. And we are going to share it. There we go. And share. All right. So this is Mr. Burleson. This is the guy who is sharing the video. In order to not show you the entire Hill video, now I do recommend anybody who does have the time to go back and watch this whole congressional hearing. It's really good. Okay. There's a lot that happened here. A lot of good conversations. I do recommend it. But I am just going to show you the clip, and then I'm going to cut it off. We're not going to dive into the front half or the back half of the Hills content. That is theirs. We're just going to utilize the content of the video that is made public. All right. And here it is.
And as before it starts, I'm going to describe, this was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone. And so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does.
Jeez.
This is when it zoomed out. So you can still see it traveling.
And it's just continues to go.
So, Mr. Knapp, have you heard about, events like this occurring? And I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what.
Here it is. Let's watch this moment of contact again. Okay. So I paused it right before. You can see the Hellfire coming in right here. Okay. Now, we're going to watch a video just after this of a guy breaking this portion down. This part. And he does such an amazing job at this. I actually reached out to him to see if he'll come on the show and break it down for everybody the way he did on his video. Hopefully he answers. Doesn't always happen. Actually, it happens 1 out of maybe 15 times. But you got to try, right? But man, just know that when he breaks it down, you're going to see things that you're not going to be able to see at this speed. When he breaks it down and he slows it down and you see things that he points out, it's going to blow your mind. You see those 3 things that fall off of it? See them? See these right here? Look at them. And watch. Look at them. Look at them chase it. Look at these things. They're just flying with it. Look at them.
This is when it zoomed out. So you can still see it traveling.
Absolutely wild. Like nothing happened to it.
So
that's just nuts. Man. All right. And then another thing that happened too was that the Hellfire missile did not detonate. I'm going to let the other guy from the other video break down for you. Because he does such a good job with this. This is, let me get his page up so you guys can see his page and everything too. There's actually 2 videos that we're going to watch. Okay. And probably not going to watch the whole thing because I don't want to take all of his stuff. Okay. I'm not trying to take credit for anybody's work. But I do want to pass along you guys over to his work because he does a hell of a job. He really does. He does a really good job of breaking it down. Now he did claim that it needs a solid surface. It does not. Okay. I can verify that. But let me share his screen. Okay. This is Pro Pixel Video Analysis and Research on X. Billy Kurzak. Okay. Here he is. At this time, it's 8:22 p.m. September 9th, 2025. And 3 hours ago, he posted this. It's about 3-minute long video. We're not going to watch the whole 3 minutes, but we're going to watch the portion of it where you get the gist of what the video is about. Okay. He does break it down immediately. I did repost and like this video. So you can go to the Infinite Rabbit Hole X page and you'll see that I reposted it. And please check this guy's stuff out. Okay. I followed him because this is not the only video that he does this with. He does this with a lot of cool UAP videos. I am definitely happy that I found this guy. So let's go ahead and take a look at what he's got to show.
All right. This video has stuff in here that I'm not seeing people talk about, and it's really significant. And I'm going to show you immediately what's going on. I'm zoomed in a little bit. I did a little bit work on the color, so we see some contrast. I did no AI to this. This is the pure video that was published today. Here comes the Hellfire, right? And you can see it impacts about right here. It looks like it's a little off center, right about here. There's the impact. What do you see missing though? There's no flash. There should be an energetic event. There should be heat, lots of heat. You should see this. You should see it. There should be an explosion. This Hellfire did not detonate. It actually passes through the object. and goes off to the side here. All right. That passes through and rips open whatever this is. And I'm going to call this a carrier now, because when it rips it open, you can actually see it's ripped here, and these orbs emerge out of the tear. Come right out of that where it's torn open. This one was blown out from over here. But these two you can see emerging from it. And then what's really interesting is watch the orbs. They lock in.
Look at it.
They go from inside to outside. Boom.
They're in formation.
Look at that lock in. Boom. Triangle formation. They're flying on their own. There's some other pieces here. Don't know what this is. This could be.
I do know what those are. Those are just artifacts of the flare itself. Okay. You can see that they appear on the backside up here too. There's reflections. So if you ever seen a FLIR, let me see, H60. We'll go with the H61, right? It's the same one. Well, we could look at the M9, MQ9, FLIR. It's going to be just a ball. All right, here we go. Let me open this up in a new window. Bam. And all right. So this right here, this is your flare. Okay. That is your flare. You see this right here, that is where your camera is. Okay. That glass reflects. That's what it does. When you get a shiny object that is recording, it will reflect. It is an artifact of the camera. Not much you could do about it. Used to happen all the time for us. When you have a shiny object that you're recording, that's what happens. Let's go back to him. So not much significance with those other pieces that he's pointing out right there. Just those three. Those three, very significant.
Don't know. I don't even want to suppose what it is. Maybe it's it could be like an energy emission. It could just be parts of the actual egg here or carrier.
Basically a reflection.
But wow, this is something different.
So whatever that is, it's reflecting light. Orbs, we know.
So whatever
UFO
the object is, the Hellfire needed something hard to detonate. It just went right through it. So that's telling me this is a soft object.
It doesn't need
it
something
hits,
hard.
Changes direction, actually is energetic enough where it really pushes the object hard to the side. And during that, whatever was inside of it gets ejected. And they are very clearly operating, boom, on their own.
Which is wild.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to stop him there. I actually watched a really good portion of that. So I want to point out something too that he didn't catch. And I can't wait. I hope he does answer my call, because I would love to share some information that I know with him. Because, you know, he does he did a great job with that breakdown. I want to share my knowledge with him. I do. If you guys, I can't remember if I ever broke down the gimbal video on this podcast. I know I've done it on other podcasts. But if you ever seen the picture of the gimbal UAP back when the the congressional hearing happened with Lieutenant David Fravor. The gimbal UAP showed a very unique artifact as well. There was a sort of glow around it. All right. Now, I'll bring it up. You guys will obviously be very familiar with the image. But you see the glow around this. Okay. I'll bring the video back up that gentleman was showing us and dissecting. But it also had a glow. Now we've been seeing, now that this gimbal video has come out, we've been noticing that when in white hot, we've been getting this artifact, this glowing artifact. And Hal Puthoff, the famous Hal Puthoff, came up with a theory as to what that could be. His theory was that could be a gravitational manipulation field, what he called the bubble. I know I did break down at one time on Infinite Rabbit Hole the concept of Hal Puthoff's theory behind external lighting on UFOs and UAP. Same concept, same exact concept. Those white lights, or any lights, the blue lights that they give off, would be where the fields are generated. These gravitational manipulation fields are generated. And the aura that you see around this picture is what the FLIR is picking up. It's picking up that gravitational manipulation field. That would be the reason why it can go in and out of multiple domains without slowing down or damaging the craft at all. Multi-domain, meaning it can go from in the air to under the ocean to back in the air to space to straight dive bomb from space through the air into the ocean and not even cause a splash in the water. The only way it can do that is by displacing gravity around it, by removing matter around it. This allows for the movement, the obnoxious, the strange movements that we see them do, the literal physics-defying movements that are being recorded. Literally, any being inside of that would be scrambled eggs inside. Any human with the technologies that we have, without gravitational manipulation, would be dead. I mean, we can't even deal with Mach 6. These things go Mach 13, Mach 14 sometimes. And then they do perfect 90-degree angles without slowing down a bit. And then they go underwater without creating a splash. Like they just phase into the water. And then, so here we have Black Hot, or Black Hot, I believe this is. So this is, this would be, I want to say this is cold, white cold, which would be Black Hot. It could be the other way around because the ocean's black. Okay. This could be white hot. But because we know the gimbal film was white hot, right? We know that the gimbal object was cold. I'm assuming that this was black hot, meaning that this object is colder than the ocean. That's why the ocean is showing up black. The ocean's typically cold, especially in October when this was filmed. But if we go by the standard set by the gimbal film, this should be cold as well. Either way, you have the aura. Okay. You see it? It's right there. As we're seeing in all these FLIR videos of UAP, orb UAPs, it's there again. So something is causing this aura. Okay. We don't get this aura even when we're looking at lights with FLIR. We just get a blinding light. Okay, this isn't normal. It's like something is literally bending the view of whatever this is. This is super odd. Okay, I can't explain this enough. This is like we're watching Einstein's theory of relativity happening right here. That's what this is. Matches it perfectly. It's incredible. And then
that I'm not seeing people talk about, and it's
Then-
really significant. And I'm going to show you.
the Hellfire doesn't detonate. And I'm pretty sure it's a proximity switch. Because if you're shooting at something small like that, that's going fast, super fast. I don't know how fast it was going, but you could see that thing was getting ass over that water. You're not going to be using a pressure switch on that. You're going to be using pressure switches on things like tanks and buildings and shit. Use proximity switches on something fast and small. That way, when you're 6 feet away from it, you can set that bitch off. This thing fucking hits it.
Immediately what's going on. I'm zoomed in a little bit. I did a little bit work on the color so we see some contrast. I did no AI to this. This is the pure video that was published today. Here comes the Hellfire, right? And you can see it hits.
That
it
should have detonated.
impacts about right here. It looks like it's a little off center, right about here. There's the
That thing's moving at Mach 1.3, that Hellfire missile. It's hitting with about 100 megajoules. Like, it got through whatever technology it has. It made contact. It physically altered whatever that is. But it didn't detonate. That's wild. That's beyond wild.
impact. What do you see missing though? There's no flash. There should be an energetic event. There should be heat, lots of heat. You should see this. You should see it. There should be an explosion. This Hellfire did not detonate. It actually passes through the object and goes off to the side here.
I'd be curious to see if it detonated once it hit the water. Once it fell to the water, did it detonate? I bet you it didn't. I bet you that thing fucking fell like a rock. I bet you it was dead. I bet you that fucking UAP fried the fuck out of it. You know the scary thing about this? The real fucking scary thing about this, everybody? The real scary thing is that if this video is legit, is that a Hellfire rocket is like were cavemen throwing sticks and stones. At technologies beyond our understanding. That's the scary thing. And that Hellfire rocket erases tanks out of existence. That's the scary thing. That's why I came on here tonight. I understand there's a lot of manipulation going on. There's a lot of, fake shit going around. But let's just throw the idea out there that this isn't. Right? I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it is. If this is another country's technology and it's not ours, we're fucked. But I don't think it's anybody else's technology. I don't think it's another I don't think it's another country's technology. Because human beings can't behave, and if anybody in the human race had technology like that, they'd use it. Ain't nobody stopping that shit. Did you see that fucking thing? There's no way. Sadly, we wouldn't be able to not use it against one another. We'd go take over the next chunk of land that we needed. And there's nothing that somebody else wouldn't be able to do. If this video is legit, that's a non-human intelligence. And it took a Hellfire missile. Like it was swatting a fly. That's fucking scary, man. That's scary. That's scary shit. It's like, man, what the fuck are they doing here? What the fuck are they doing here? I don't know. That's wild. That's fucking crazy. I was not expecting that today. I was honestly expecting a big old nothing burger today. Really. And I was expecting like even when the Gimbal film came out, we were just excited that a video was released to Congress, right? We didn't even know like a lot of the stuff that got really released in it. Like nobody had pointed out the corona that was hidden in there. Hal Puthoff hadn't come up with his theories about the gravitational manipulation. Lieutenant David Fravor still didn't really understand what it was that he saw. And as people started dissecting the video, more and more and more stuff came out, right? People were like, oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see that? We haven't had that amount of time go by yet to where more and more people can dissect this stuff and change the filtering and everything. As days go by, weeks go by, we'll get more and more analysis done on these. And I really believe we're going to find some really cool shit. But we're not even 12 hours past yet. Shoot, we're not even 10 hours. We're 8. And this shit's blowing my fucking mind. I know as a podcaster, I'm supposed to come on here and entertain. Right? That's what a podcast is there for. Supposed to come on here, get entertained, maybe learn something whatever. But I hope that you guys got something out of today's episode. Wasn't, like I said, wasn't expecting to come on tonight. I tried getting Jeff on, but he had to go no nights because he's sleepy. Very, very sleepy. That's okay. He's tuckered out. But it is what it is. And I'm just an off. But all right, now that all that's out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and plug two things. I like to put it at the end. I don't like to flood the beginning. What will get cut out, or what I'm pretty sure I'll cut out, I'm not sure, because I'm super tired right now, and I do want to get this episode out tonight so that people can enjoy it tomorrow morning. Merch shop has been updated. Okay, how you get to it? Fuck, I don't know. Well, might as well figure that out for you. And then if you haven't been to the socials, please go to the Facebook, go to X. I posted a poll, okay, today or yesterday, since most of you guys will be listening to this on the 10th, September 10th. Go to the socials, answer the poll. The next chapter of the Infinite Rabbit Hole is just around the corner. There's something cool coming. I need your help making a decision. Okay. Let's just say I'm almost ready to get back into the swing of things. Okay. Although I haven't presented a topic like I have for the Infinite Rabbit Hole in a long time, the research that I've done for the Infinite Rabbit Hole has never ended. My writing of scripts, my constant reading, my constant research, my deep dives has not stopped. I have a nice backstock of content ready to be recorded, ready to go. I need your help with a major decision. Okay? So please head on over to the Infinite Rabbit Hole socials, X and Facebook. Answer the question. And on Sunday's episode, I may or may not put a post in the Twitch stream with a poll if I can figure it out. But I just found out how to get to the merch shop, so that's pretty cool. Let's show you guys that. If you guys don't care about it, then see you later. For those that do, this is infiniterabbithole.com. If you guys have never been here, then by all means, hey, there's my face. And there's Jeffrey's face with a beard. Look at that beard. He used to have a fucking gnarly beard. You can leave a review. You can go to this little microphone down here and leave us a voicemail. And we'll put it at the front of an episode. All kinds of stuff you can do here. But then there's this little button right here. It says IRH Merch Shop. You click it. And then it brings you to our merch shop. And here it is. So I got these little collections up here. Yeah. You got the They So Cute collection, specialty logos, topic collection. Now, a lot of these are still here from when Jake populated them. And this is just like a collection of everything. So what's really cool about this particular thing or this particular website that we use, Redbubble, you can click on any of these designs, right? Or one of these collections of designs. Let's say, we'll just go to the official logos. right? And you can click on any one of these official logo things. We'll go to the basic logo. All right. And it's going to bring up something. This one's a hoodie. You don't have to get the hoodie with the basic logo. You can scroll down and you can literally get whatever the fuck you want on it. Okay, you see this little red thing right here? It says view this design on 67 products. Click that. Look at all these products with our logo on it. Look at this shit. Look at it all. Look at that. Look at that. That's a tapestry. That's a blanket. That's a clock. That's an acrylic block and a pillow. You can lay your head on my logo and go night-night. A backpack. Send your kids to school in style. Don't do that. Don't send your kids to school with an Infinite Rabbit Hole bag. But you can have your morning coffee with an Infinite Rabbit Hole mug. You can keep your toesies warm with Infinite Rabbit Hole socks. That's cool. Ooh, and you can go outside and grill cheeseburgers with an Infinite Rabbit Hole apron. Pretty neat. And we got everything here. We got stickers, all kinds of stuff here for you. Zipper pouch, duffel bag, pins, every kind of sticker you can think of. A holographic sticker, glossy, regular sticker, everything. Okay. I mean, whatever you can think of. Now, not every single design is going to have everything available. If you want something available in a certain design, let me know. Shoot me a message and I'll make it happen. Okay. I made the regular Infinite Rabbit Hole logo kind of just available and everything. And with the clothing, you can change the background color to basically whatever you want, whatever's available in that particular piece of clothing. Yeah, that's it. So check it out. This is a great way to support the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. You can help support my addiction to books. That way my wife doesn't murder me. And if you guys miss this ugly ass logo, look at this. You can get it with yellow. Look at this. This guy's pissed that he's wearing this. Look at his face. He's like, really, man? Look, you could spin that wheel and get like 25% off. Look at this. This is available on 45 items. You can get a phone case. So she's happy. She's like, yeah, I got the old logo. Yeah. Yeah. That's somebody out there is going to want it, I think. I don't know. If you don't, then you don't. It's up to you. You could just not get it. But yeah, so enjoy. I had fun. I'm gonna upload a whole bunch of stuff to it. I know I've been getting a lot of people asking about the UFO Days t-shirt. I don't know if I'm gonna upload that. I don't think I'm going to. The reason why is because I want to keep that UFO Days exclusive. Because I want to pull people to UFO Days. Sorry, guys. I'm invested in that festival. And I want to try to bring patrons to that festival. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll run that shirt or that logo during the weekend of UFO Days on our website. Be like the only way you can get it on the website is during that time. I think that maybe I'll do that. That'd be fun. You gotta remind me though, because I'm gonna forget. But anyways, not much else. Just those two things. Please go over to the social, Facebook or X, vote in the poll, please. I'm gonna repost them a couple times because I want to get a big pool of answers. And then check out the merch shop. Like I said, I'm going to upload a ton of different things. Okay. If you guys like the Infinite Rabbit Hole 5-year logo, that one's going to get uploaded too. A lot of cool things are coming. Okay. A lot of cool stuff from Infinite Rabbit Hole's past is going to be there. A lot of new stuff is going to be there. Look for when I announce the new show. That stuff will show up on the merch shop. That's all I got. All right. I appreciate everyone who showed up tonight. Kid, I know you're here. I saw a couple people, for those who died, was in there. Saw a couple others come in and out. Appreciate you taking the time, checking it out. I hope I brought some cool stuff for you to see tonight. Yeah, get some sleep, go to work, do whatever it is you do, and see you right back here on Sunday. All right, everybody. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. I'm the host of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast, and I'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole.